Hey Luke, what did you think of the game, at least difference-wise from last game, in terms of what you were looking for defensively to start with?
Defensively, I thought it was great. That was a carryover that I was challenging them to and shoot around this morning. That's the carryover we again challenged them to tonight, right before tip-off. As far as that's what we're used to seeing in practice each day, whether it's the drill work, the scrimmaging, and it was good to see and let them kind of feel what that's like. Because I think honestly we got tired. It's not easy playing that hard, that aggressive on defense, and being in passing lanes and trying to get people off their spots. So I think it was good for them to kind of feel that and experience. I thought they did a great job defensively on the principles of what we're doing. We still had a bunch of breakdowns as far as Vince was supposed to be a runoff, and I think he hit 3 or 4 threes. And a couple other, personnel breakdowns, but we got young guys playing. They'll learn that type of stuff as we go. Overall defensive game, though, I was very pleased with.
Luke, no Lonzo, obviously, and the ball maybe not moving as you would envision at one point, but what got going late, especially with Kuzma and Randall, just starting to get to the hoop and get good looks?
Well, I think a big part of that was Caruso, honestly. He was kind of sparking that group. Obviously Kuz and Julius made some big plays, but I thought the way Caruso was kind of, he was a calming force out there on the offensive end and getting guys into the spots they needed to be. And I think it was valuable for our guys down the stretch of a close NBA game to see what it's like, how much tighter the defense becomes, and that's when you really have to rely on your offense and running it all the way through, because most times late in the game your first and second options aren't going to be open. You got to get to that third, fourth layer where defense has made multiple decisions before you get an open look. And we got a couple possessions like that we'll be able to show them on film, and then we have a couple where we just try to do it, one pick and roll and be done with it. And the difference of what that looks like, we'll be able to learn from that.
With Kuzma specifically, maybe it's easy to say, oh, it's just summer league or oh, it's just preseason. But what have you seen that suggests to you that this is going to carry through the regular season and so on?
Because it's how he shows up every day. Even in practice, he doesn't take days off. It's a lie. Last practice he was kind of soft, but he told me he was sick, so I'm giving him a pass on that one. But he literally shows up to play, no matter what it is. If it's 3-on-3, a shooting contest, during some pre-practice drill work, he's always competing. And if you have a motor like that drives you to compete, then it's being a consistent basketball player is much easier.
Your first win, do you care about that at all?
No, I care about, I shouldn't say I don't care about it. It feels good. It's good for these guys to feel it, even though it's the preseason. We're trying to develop the attitude that we don't care if it's preseason, practice, games. We want to have a standard of how we compete. But I'm way more proud of the way that they got after it defensively tonight than the final outcome.
Given the events that unfolded here this last Sunday, what was it like playing the pregame ceremonies? Obviously, the team had the Vegas Strong shirts on.
Yeah, it was emotional for sure. I think everybody. It's hard to talk about. It's hard to imagine what it was like. And I think everyone was touched. People have it's a small world, and people know somehow one way or another know people that were involved in it. And I thought Magic said it great when he said, "We'll never let evil win out," and it was a great crowd today. The energy was phenomenal. There was money raised. It just showed what's great about our country, the people that live in our country, and then what sports is all about, and that's bringing people together and competing and just giving an escape sometimes. And I thought we did a good job of that tonight.